What's up, everybody? My name is Bryce, aka DubsNotSubs, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we have an absolutely amazing series I'm ready to get into you with, because it is along the Death Game series, but we're going to get a lot more into it, and that is a series called Tomodachi Game, a new anime coming out this spring season, coming out. Hopefully, this video goes up the day that it is out, and the first episode is out today, so we're going to be going over it, what I think about it, why I think it's good, why I think it's bad, and overall my opinions on it. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Before we get into this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. It lets me know that you guys enjoy this kind of content. Let me know what kind of anime series, manga, or any other type of medium over in Japan you want me to cover. It doesn't have to be an anime or manga. It could be a city. It could be an artist. It could be, I don't know, someone's foot from Japan. I don't know. Maybe those things are popular over there. Maybe you want to see some famous manga artist's foot. I don't know. But I'll do whatever y'all want me to do. I'm like a little circus act for y'all. So Tomodachi Game is a series that is like a death game, but not exactly, because no one has died, at least not from the parts that I've read from it. Now, this starts off with a group of 5 friends. You have Yuichi, Sawagara, Tenji, Shibe, and Yutori, all together as friends. They're all, having a good time, being good friends together as they do. And what happens one day, they all end up waking up in this strange room, and in front of them is this guy called Manabu. And basically he tells them that they've all been signed up by someone willingly, so that means this wasn't involuntary, so this wasn't something where they were forced into it Squid Game style, or no, Squid Game was voluntary, more Alice in Borderland or something like that, where they didn't really have a choice for it, which raises the question that there might be a traitor amongst them, which isn't confirmed or denied, and that's something that they explore more in the story. So basically they have to go through games where they incur a debt of 20 million yen, and they have to try to get it to 0. So by playing these games, they are basically able to lower their debt, but if they lose these games, they end up increasing their debt more. And that's the basic premise of the game. With that death game style, they have to try to figure out how to get through these games, losing debt, but all the games really center around making the friends betray each other as much as possible. They want you to try to backstab your friends and do anything you can to get yourself ahead of other people. So basically the point is, how much are your friends' loyalty worth, and how much do you value your friends' loyalty and friendship over a 20 million yen debt, or increasing your debt, or putting yourself further in debt. Now, there is a lot to get into with this manga. I've only read the first 10 chapters, but that's about the first 3 volumes I've gotten through, and there is a ton of stuff in this manga. There's a lot that it does right, and there's a couple of things that does wrong. So first, we're going to start off with the right stuff. So first off, I like the games. They're different. I haven't seen them before. They all seem like games that aren't being redone from any of the other popular type of death games that are out there, like the ones I mentioned before, Squid Game, Alice in Borderlands, or As the Gods Will Season 2, which are all the ones that I think of immediately. All the games in here are very unique. The first game we start off with, which is a very simple game of yes or no, but everybody basically has to unanimously agree on an answer, and all they have to do is get one question right, and then they pass the game, and they all lose a little bit of the debt. But there's more that goes into it, where people can try to betray or backstab people to increase other people's debts and drop other people's debts down, and there's always punishments for these games where whoever has the most amount of debt at the end ends up getting it doubled. So things like this to encourage you backstabbing your friends. And basically, as we go through this first game, we see a lot of strange things end up happening. I don't want to spoil too much, obviously, because episode 1 is coming out. You guys are going to be watching that as it is, and I don't know if they're going to go through the entire first game right off the bat, so I don't want to spoil everything. But basically, it raises some questions whether there's actually a traitor in there or not. It gives them some validity to it, and then there's some stuff that goes back and forth that really throws the people through a new loop. But it really is an intense type of game. You do have Yuichi, who is your main protagonist, and he does have the smart death game character kind of trope to him, like all the other ones do. So he is the smart guy trying to figure it out, trying to do the best thing ever to make everybody win in the best possible way. But with this traitor thing being in there, it really adds this really cool different element that aren't in other death games, that really feels like, because other death games don't really have it. It's everybody just trying to work together to make it to the end, to either kill the administrators take over the game or just win the game in general. It is very entertaining to see some kind of like twist within the game itself, where it's like, instead of these guys dying, you know, because they're dead and then they're gone for it, not only do they have to survive in the end, and they will survive in the end, they have to deal with each other afterwards and what the decisions they make within the game can result in. So if someone decides to do something to better themselves or make themselves go forward and then push everybody else to the back, they're going to have to deal with that after the game, because nobody else is dying. You just have to live with that kind of decision. You don't just go past. You don't have to never face them again. There are consequences for these actions that aren't just straight up death. And I think it adds a really entertaining twist to this genre, other than just killing them off and just being done with them and then done with that storyline. It just builds on top of each other, and the whole thing of this one possible person, if it's confirmed, them trying to mind game somebody else into ruining them and then get ahead themselves, with all the other characters trying to have them all get together and win the best possible way, even with fighting against this traitor. So it's a really cool dynamic, and it's a really entertaining read with that. I do like the characters a lot. They all kind of have their little setups and backgrounds that we get to end up at the beginning. We have one of them being the daughter of a policeman, one of them's the rich kid, one of them's the poor kid, one of them's the class president, and then the other one is like the shy girl. And they're all kind of amongst their tropes. They don't really go outside the box, and they do their job good. They're very entertaining. I like them all the characters are very entertaining and very interesting, so it's nice to watch them go through the story and progress how they do and have to deal with each other's problems. And knowing their backgrounds, it's very easy to kind of see a predictable kind of outcome with how some of them are, and also kind of see some things that aren't exactly what you expect for these characters to be like. And overall, I do like the characters. The art for the characters, nothing crazy. They're basic art. The art in here is nothing crazy. It's nothing. It's like, it's good art. Like, it does its job, it does what it needs to for progressing the manga, being clear. All the visuals are good, but they're not great. So I would say I'd give them like a 6.5. Like, they're good, right? Like, I accept them, but I'm not gonna go and be like, oh man, the Tomodachi Game art really just reinvented my life. Takeo Inui, trash. I want Tomodachi Game on my wall. But going into what the downsides of this manga are, there is obviously, with the smart guy character, you are going through these same motions of him figuring out, devising grand plans, and then kind of revealing the whole plan and how he's got it all figured out to find this super duper cheat that nobody thought of, and everyone's like, whoa, Sugoi, nani? And then everybody moves on, and he just is like the smart character who kind of figures out everything. But I like the kind of twist that I got to in the book, which I won't get into, which is way ahead of where we're going to be in the anime to start off with. I don't know if we're going to get into it. I'm assuming we're probably going to get into it for the anime. We'll probably get the first 3 games is what I'm assuming, and I've got through the first 2 games, and I'm getting onto the 3rd game right now. So with that in mind, you have the kind of same storylines and progression, how that usually goes. And if you don't like that kind of stuff, like a Squid Game, how that kind of progresses, then you're not going to be super into this, because it's going to be doing the same thing just in a different way. And also, the other thing I don't really like about this manga is that there is these characters that are watching them that are kind of like game conductors or something like that. I don't know exactly their role, but they just seem to be kind of a character role that just explains everything to the reader, because you always have, for the manga, you always have like a reader character, which is what they're called, which basically what it does is for the viewer or reader, it puts them in place to make everything in the situation that's crazy seem a little bit more rational, and explains it to the audience to give it in more bite-sized pieces and understanding things into the audience without seeming too strange to the world of trying to like force explanation and like all that kind of nonsense into you. So that's what they really feel like, and they really feel forced in that category. And there's a lot of times where they just really over explain stuff, and they don't let the story progress how it should, because you're just sitting there, and it's like having a sports game, you're watching it, and then having an announcer there. Like, someone throws the ball, and he goes, oh, and he throws the ball to the wide receiver, and you're just sitting there like, yes, I know, I'm watching the game. So with that, they can be a little bit annoying, but luckily, I don't think that they do it way too much. It doesn't absolutely destroy the plot line, and it doesn't absolutely throw off the entire series, because they are there and they do get annoying a little bit, but overall they aren't too much, and they let the games progress for the most part. It's just those parts when they pop in, they really don't need to be there. I don't understand the point of them being there, besides to be there to explain stuff to the readers, and there's just really no point to do it. Let's just let people figure it out on their own. It's like this stupid tutorial thing that they do on video games now, where they have to show you how to shoot, like, and they have the same control scheme as Call of Duty, and like everybody already knows it, but you have to go through these stupid tutorials that are just like super easy and just like very not hard to understand, and it just feels like I'm watching someone tell me what is going on, and I don't need someone to tell me what's going on. There's only been one time where I think it's kind of interesting where having their comment, and that's just because the manga artist purposely doesn't put in stuff that makes sense that nobody would rationally get until you're actually told it. It's like one of those kind of things when they do with the games where the big reveal is like, oh, you actually weren't able to even understand it. You were being held on the string too, and only the main character, Yuichi, knew what was going on, and then it reveals it to everybody, like Sherlock Holmes and the Great Detective kind of style, and it's really entertaining. It's cool, and luckily they didn't over-explain it for that, and I needed it for that, so that was a little bit different, but overall, they're just really not invested in the story in a way that I want them to be even there at all. So with that being said, overall, I really like this. This is a lot better of a death game than what is it? It's like Your Turn to Die or something like that, which was a manga I was reading that I ended up getting bored with very quickly. I still have volume 2. I'll read through it and give it a try, but like looking back on it, I was just trying to fulfill the void with something other than, you know, every other one that is already out there, because I've already read As the Gods Will Season 2. I've already seen Squid Game. I've been reading Alice in Borderland. I just wanted another one in there, and I do think this one does a lot better of a job than most of the other death games that I've read out there and stuff like that. It does a very good job at becoming entertaining. I like the twists. I like the turns. If you like the kind of progression that Squid Game, Alice in Borderlands, and those kind of death games have, you will love this kind of series. It's another one of those. It does a very good job. It has a really nice twist and turns throughout it that I don't want to get in or spoil it for you guys, but honestly, it's worth checking out and giving it a chance if you guys are into that like darker death game kind of series, because it does a fantastic job at that and does a very, very good job at making it an entertaining death game that is similar to know what you're getting into, but different enough to stay new and feel fresh. And the studio behind it, who I don't exactly know what they've done before, the animations from all the trailers and stuff look really good, and it just looks very entertaining. And it doesn't look like they're going to reinvent the wheel with their kind of animation, but I do think it's going to be enough to be very entertaining, because I like a lot of it isn't these grand schemes. It's a lot of very psychological warfare and a very small type games where it's all mental manipulation, verbal manipulation, lying to try to get ahead, trying to find the truth amongst all the dirt, and just trying to fight for your friendship at the end of the day. And it does a very, very epic job at making it entertaining. So anyway, guys, have you seen episode 1? What do you guys think about it? Do you guys like it? Am I right? Am I wrong? What do you guys think? What's the opinions on episode 1 of Tomodachi Game? Let me know in the comments down below. Again, like the video if you guys feel that I deserve it. And anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for staying to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And anyway, guys, I will see you in another video. I can't wait for it. The spring season is going to be crazy.